What's up everybody, it's Robin Gaming here. So Shadow of War of course came out today. I did a very quick Twitter poll very recently, yesterday actually, about the microtransactions and the way people feel about that right now, right? I basically asked the question, have microtransactions changed your decision to buy Shadow of War? Now the results out of that to me was super interesting because basically out of the 50% of the people saying that they were at least interested in the game, you know, before the whole marketing trajectory, right? 40% of those people said now, yes, I'm going to be boycotting the game because of it, whereas only 60% said, no, I'm still going to be buying it regardless. 40% is a huge number, you know, that means that they're going to be missing out on lots and lots of sales. And it just made me wonder very recently, like, was it even worth it for Warner Brothers to do this, you know, to fuck up the games, the stigma around the game so much with all the bad stuff, with the microtransactions, the whole story that they recently had with the employee that passed away, right? You know, that sucked to see too. They made lots of bad decisions there that really impacted the way people look at the game. And so I really wonder, was it worth it? At the same time, I just think, personally speaking, as a fan, it really sucks to me to see that because I loved Shadow of Mordor. You know, that game was a huge surprise to me. It came out of nowhere, and I think the same counted for a lot of other gamers out there. You know, 3 years ago when that game came out, a lot of people respected it for what it was, right? Because, yeah, it was just a game that surprised us all and that we were all very happy with and that was worth the money, that actually delivered for once, right? And so this game could have had just pure anticipation, people looking forward to it, just like what was going on before the launch of it and stuff, but instead it turned into a game now that is just very controversial, where most of the people are looking at it in a very negative light. And like I said, as a fan, that sucks to me to see. So what I wanted to do with this video is I wanted to answer the question, should you be boycotting the game because of the microtransactions? You know, that's really what I've been thinking about a lot recently. And it's a question that I can't really answer with a simple yes or no, I feel, because at the end of the day, it is your very own personal decision, right? And everybody can look at it in a different way than others. So you should make your own decision if you still want to play the game regardless. Looking at it from a personal perspective, I recently received a review copy from Warner Brothers, so I didn't personally have to spend a single dime on the game, and I'm going to be playing it. Like I said, as a fan, the fact that I can get to play it without having to spend anything anyway, I'm going to be playing it. I also, of course, want to do a review for you all that are still interested in it regardless, to share my thoughts on it and stuff. So yes, I will be playing it, but I have been thinking about, you know, should I feel bad for it though? Should I really feel bad about that I'm supporting a game like that, I guess, still in a certain way? Now, you can really look at it in several ways, right? I think that some people look at it in the way that, you know, they feel like they're going to be spending money on a game that in itself is still going to be great, that is going to be of high quality, that will give them lots of content, but they won't support the microtransactions by simply not investing into them, by simply not buying them. They only spend money on the game itself. And so that's a way you can look at it. At the same time, some people, and I find that a respectable move too, these 40% that said, no, I'm simply going to be boycotting it, sorry, because I don't want any microtransactions in my $60 game, especially not for it being single player. I think most people make a big case out of too. I think that's a respectable move and totally understandable to me because, yes, microtransactions have no place in a $60 game. Ultimately, the way I look at it is that microtransactions started in the free-to-play genre, in the mobile market, you know, where people on Android and on iOS, they didn't want to spend money on apps, on games, right? And so what did these developers have to do? Well, obviously they had to make their money back somehow. That's very understandable. So what they did is add microtransactions and pretty much make people that feel really invested into a certain app, make them still spend a couple of dollars every now and then, you know, on a skin or a boost or something that helps them along in the game, right? It's not really a model that I'm a fan of at all, because I personally think good content, good, whether it's a game on mobile or on console, it should always be paid for, because yeah, time and effort goes into it, and you should support that. You should like pay something back for all the time and effort that has gone into it. Otherwise, these games cannot be made anymore. It's really that simple. And the same counts on console. But And this is really where I look at it. Both gamers and the developers are in some way to blame. On one hand, the gamers nowadays seem to just have the wrong standards, in my personal opinion. Gamers don't actually want to be spending $60 on games anymore. And that's why you've seen this whole trend now where basically most of it that comes out is multiplayer, it's an RPG with hundreds of hours of gameplay, or it's an open world game with still like 50 hours plus. Because if people look at a single player game, regardless of it being high quality and right, regardless of lots of time and effort having gone into it, they're like, well, no, it's only 10 hours long. I'm not spending $60 on that. It's not worth it. And that's, in my opinion, you know, you see a direct effect there where those games are not really being made much anymore. So that sucks to me to see. But even once again, in general, even a game that is open world like Shadow of War, people don't spend that $60 that easily anymore. They wait for sales on Steam, on the PC, or on the PlayStation Store and the Xbox Live Store or whatever, right? They wait for sales. They buy them secondhand. They just don't want to show support. So that's the whole reason why you've seen more and more ways, you know, get into these games like microtransactions to still make money back because some developers need it. I don't know if Shadow of War really does, because I think the game is going to be making a profit regardless, so I don't know if it really needed that. And once again, it's probably a choice that's not going to affect them positively at all because of the potential game sales now that they're missing out on. But the way I look at it is that, you know, microtransactions should not be accepted in a $60 game, both in single player and multiplayer, because once again, you've already spent money on a game like that too. So microtransactions should not be supported. I understand that people would be boycotting a game like that for it, but I think the same should count with a multiplayer game. I don't understand why people buy them in the first place. Like, I don't get why some people, you know, they don't want to pay for good content, like a decent map pack that actually, once again, had time and effort put into it, or a good single player expansion. They don't want to do it, but oh, they're fine, you know, spending a couple of bucks every now and then on a little thing like a weapon skin that does nothing gameplay wise. It's just weird to me to see, but that's the way people are nowadays. And so this is why we see it come back more and more. Leading into my sort of like conclusion though, should you be boycotting the game for it? Once again, it's not something I can answer with a simple yes or no. You make that decision yourself. I can understand it from both ways. I'm very much excited for the game itself. I've already been playing it and it's great so far. But it's not like I really, you know, support these microtransactions in my games either. So once again, I can really look at it from both ways there. I think the thing that sucks the most to me to see is the fact that us, the hardcore gamers, I would like to say, you know, the people that are subscribed to this channel, we buy lots of games, we play lots of games, but at the end of the day, we're maybe not even the audience that would buy these microtransactions. That's usually the mainstream market. And we also don't make up most of the people that actually buy the game itself. That's also the mainstream market. They are kind of ruining it for other people out there. And they're causing for the stuff to be in there. And they're going to be buying the game regardless. And they're going to be spending money on the microtransactions regardless. So whether we will have much of an effect on it and stuff, that's what I'm kind of wondering the most about. And you know, it's something that makes me feel just very, very powerless, right? Because basically, no matter what we do, it doesn't matter too much, because the people at the end of the day that are making up the majority of the profit that's made from a video game like this are the ones that you won't see on YouTube, that you won't see being excited for games beforehand. No, they're just the typical people that buy a game in a store where they see it and they don't really do much research at all, you know? And so that's why, yeah, that's why I don't think people boycotting it is really going to make much of a difference. Anyway, like I said, this is basically the way I feel about it. It's a hard topic to talk about though, and I want to know your thoughts about it in the comments too. I hope it wasn't too all over the place, this video. But anyway, with that being said, of course, leave a quick like to help support my channel. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd very much like to have a discussion with you about it. And then for now, I'd like to thank you a lot for watching and hope to see you again next time.